Good evening and welcome to our weekly executive briefing grid. I am Melissa Ambers. We are streaming live across the executive video networks on LinkedIn and YouTube. We establish this room every single Tuesday at 7 p.m. Central Standard Time to tackle high level corporate systems realities. We highly respect your calendar, which is why we bypass generic marketing fluff to deliver a focused 15 to 20-minute operational diagnostic. We started these executive briefings for a pretty simple reason. Right now, a lot of leadership teams are frustrated. They're dealing with disconnected departments, misaligned goals, and honestly, just a massive gap between the big strategies they talk about in meetings and what's actually getting done day to day. We didn't want to just hop on here and give you a bunch of vague fluff. We wanted to give you real, actionable blueprints to fix those communication gaps and build actual working cross functional pipelines. And the reason we're doing this specifically as a 6 week series is because real organizational change doesn't happen overnight, but it also shouldn't take a year-long corporate rollout that everyone tunes out. 6 weeks allows us to take this piece by piece. Every week, we're isolating one specific critical pillar of leadership, like we're doing tonight with communication baselines. So your team can audit it, fix it, and implement it in a real time without slamming the brakes on your daily business operations. By the time we hit week 6, the goal is to have your entire leadership team completely out of their silos and running on one single synchronized engine. So that's why we're here. And that's why we're heading over the next few weeks. So let's dive straight in tonight's briefing. We're opening up the organization blueprints on the concepts that leadership teams talk about, but very few know how to execute. Breaking the silo, cross-functional communication mechanics. If you look at the data, nearly 70% of digital transformations stall out completely. And when things start stalling, the default corporate reflex is always the same. We need more meetings. We need another cross-functional alignment call. But let's be completely honest with each other. Meeting overload is a symptom of structural failure, not a behavior issue. Independent software silos force human capital to fill operational gaps manually. Your people aren't sitting in meetings all day because they want to. They're doing it because the systems don't talk to each other. And they're acting as the human glue trying to hold a fragmented workflow together. To understand exactly how dangerous this is, look at this chart. The infraction risk cascade. Tier 1, fractured technical and fracture. When you have teams manually copying data from spreadsheets into separate software systems, because your utilities don't talk to each other, you introduce massive data degradation right at the gate. There's no automated validation. It's just people applying digital band-aids to keep the lights on. Tier 2, siloed operations management. Since the data at the bottom is compromised, your interlocking workflows break. Your operations managers are forced to spend their entire week sitting in status meetings, manually patching up sync failures that their tools should be handling automatically behind the scenes. And here's where it hits the C suite. Tier 3, compromised executive leadership. Those manual data gaps roll all the way up to the top. The real-time dashboards are suddenly feeding you inaccurate KPIs based on stale corrected data. You're making massive quarterly strategic decisions from a complete leadership blind spot. You cannot fix a corrupted baseline with flashy front-end graphics. Now we're moving on to the communication alignment baseline. How do we stop the cascade? It starts by establishing your communication alignment baseline. Right now, your organization is sitting in one of three layers. You're either in the red layer, which is fractured manual state of full process drag, noise, and constant email duplication, or the yellow layer, where you have independent software silos and sync calls that are completely out of alignment, meaning customer experience failures never actually reach your development core. Where we need to take you is the blue layer, synchronized mechanics. This is where automated feedback loops are baked directly into your technical foundation, real-time operational data pipeline stream, institutional intelligence straight to leadership without requiring a single human intervention or meeting to make it happen. When you transition that synchronized enterprise and fracture, your day-to-day operations turn into a three-phase pipeline. Ingestion. We set up a clean data entry gate that eliminates manual human duplication right at the edge. Second is processing. Documented workflows are systemized directly into your technical foundation. Then your output. Validated data stream straight to your customer experience, development, security, operations, and simultaneously no silos and no delays. Now this moves us up onto the three strategic pillars. In chapter 6 of my book, Beyond Business as Usual, there's three pillar foundations. The core foundation. We establish a permanent process skeleton that unifies data lines and bypass temporary software patches. Next is risk mitigation at the gate. This is where you address technical debt exactly where data enters the business, ensuring operational continuity. Next is pillar 3, the executive mandate. To unlearn the blind spots that digital transformation is just an IT problem, this is a leadership responsibility. You own the technical framework as a primary cross-functional business strategy driven from the top. This requires a shift in how we think. We have to unlearn the legacy habit of assuming cross-functional synchronization belongs solely to an individual department head or siloed team. We have to relearn how to own these communication mechanics as a unified executive command. If you're ready to stop managing departments and start scaling an integrated pipeline, let's get your team online. Scan the QR code on the screen to access the 2026 reference frameworks that we discussed tonight. Let's build your synchronized core. Thank you for joining me. The digital video of these deep dives will continue to archive on my YouTube channel, but the real live strategic walkthroughs happen right here on the broadcast grid. To continue this unlearning process, access our complete 2026 reference frameworks and secure your baseline documentation. Simply scan the QR code. Now, hope you're ready to join me next Tuesday. Block it out on your calendars. Next Tuesday, 7 p.m. Central Standard Time, week 3, we will dive into the cost of noise. I am Melissa Ambers. Thank you for your time. The corporate transmission is complete.